cold water immersions and pain relievers. Is it bad for muscle growth, and does it have any place at all in training? Alright, so welcome once again. Today we're going to discuss that question. So most of you guys, I know, you already experienced the severe pain, the DOMS, after gym, after workout, after you train. So it's an intense pain. I know that. I've been through that, and I'll be through that almost every training session. So what most of us do is that we immerse in cold water. So that's called cold water immersion. Or we take over-the-counter drugs, or NSAIDS and stuff like that. Okay, of course that helps in reducing the soreness, and that makes us train again earlier. All right, but if your goal is muscle growth and development, you need to suffer through pain. I also wrote an article about this. Check it out. So after a hard days of work, the next few days will usually be hell, and that's normal. You cannot take over counter pain relievers, so they will rob you off your gains. So I will discuss right here a research article. So it's called Effects of Ibuprofen Acetaminophen Post-Exercise Muscle Protein Synthesis. So read it all, like next slide. Alright, so what about cold baths or cold water immersion? So as we know, cold baths or cold showers are great, and they have many health benefits. However, despite that fact that they have been shown to effectively reduce soreness and inflammation following a training, that same fact also dampens muscle development. And we know the last thing we need, that's the last thing we ever need. Okay, so data suggest that cold water immersion attenuates the acute changes of satellite cell numbers and activity of kinases, what they call them. So that regulates muscle hypertrophy, which may translate to smaller long-term training gains in muscle strength and hypertrophy. So the use of CWI or cold water immersion as a regular post-exercise recovery strategy should be reconsidered. So you can read it in the next slide. So what if you're an athlete? So it's actually a different story if you're an athlete, because an athlete does not necessarily need those muscle gains. So as we can see, cold water immersion and drugs, and drugs. When I say drugs, the NSAIDs, the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. So that would just affect your muscle gains. However, I don't really recommend that, even if you're an athlete, just to take over-the-counter drugs every day after training. No, that's not a good idea as well. But a good idea would be cold water immersions, since cold water immersions will naturally dampen your muscle soreness. Therefore, you can train more often. So for athletes, training more often leads to more progress, even if your training will not really induce muscle gain. muscle gain is not your goal if you're an athlete. Your goal is to train more often. All right, so I hope that clarifies things. So we're not saying that cold water immersion is useless, but athletes would have more use to them. Athletes, when I say athletes, that means athletes like the ones who play sports and the ones who train for powerlifting and the Olympic lifting. Since powerlifters and Olympic lifters, like athletes, do not really need too much muscle to begin with. All right. So I hope that clarifies the issue, and thank you for watching this video. If you agreed with my message, please like and comment and subscribe. Comment anything, any questions at all. I'll be glad to answer them in the next few videos. And please support us on Patreon as well, and follow us on Twitter. That's at Aboutlifting, and Facebook as well, at Aboutlifting as well. And see you later, guys, and have a great day. Turn on notifications, subscribe.